over.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that shit. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. The IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the menopause. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord.
Control your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
Kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here about to be holy ground. This will be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the praise. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our face. Got it out the book, straight up out the base.
What no cowards in our camp,
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that shit. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. The IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the menopause. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord.
Control your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
Kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here about to be holy ground. This will be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the praise. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our face. Got it out the book, straight up out the base.
Shalom, Israelites. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. At this time, I want to say Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Barakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shama, Ailatan Basham to the sisters. Welcome to our Sunday evening scripture breakdown class. This Sunday evening, what we're talking about? We're talking about the oppressor. There was a thing on TikTok with this Canadian, sorry, with this Canadian oppressor in the form of a diplomat who was speaking all kind of things about Jamaica. Yeah, you know what's the interesting thing? And the very interesting thing, white people don't even get attacked. White people is like the victim of crime in Jamaica. The oppressor is no victim of any crime in Jamaica. And yet still everything bothers them. We are the one who should be complaining because our leaders make it terrible for us to please them. In order to please them, they make it terrible for us. And at the same time, they show no appreciation. But not that we care enough. Whether they come here or not, they're not really benefiting Jamaica. Not well, we not benefiting the general public. They come, inflation still high. They don't come, inflation still high. They come and spend the US dollar, inflation high. They don't spend the US dollar, inflation high. The Jamaican economy is not, the success of the Jamaican economy don't depend on whether they come or not. Guess what it depends on?
How much we spend.
How much we spend? Depends on whether we free up the LGBTQRS plus or not. That's what it really depends on. But my point is this: I hear complaining about some things where it's rather worse in places, even like in the States. You have many places in the States where you cannot travel. And as a matter of fact, where in the world you're going to travel and drop your guard? Nowhere. Anywhere in the world you travel to, you are going to be vigilant. But he mentioned something interesting, which I find as say where and why the top, probably the top 1% or top 5% of Jamaica is creaming off a crap of these diplomats. He was here and they rented a property for what? $7,000 a month. Not 7,000 Jamaican dollars, no, 7,000 US. How much money?
7,000 US.
And they had something like a 1-year lease on it.
$1 million.
All right, little more than $1 million, I think. More than $1 million per month. It's not a business place, you know. They charge them that money. Well, it look like it have other things in it, like security. Because security guard, yeah, right. Him and him daughter going to swim in the swimming pool in the same property, and a security guard with a pump rifle follow them go to the pool. Who you think security guarding him from? We? Security guarding him from them country who his country go and make trouble with, who might want to knock them in Jamaica. They're not guarding them from us. We Jamaicans do business with them.
Right.
And if it don't, we go Montego Bay and the Hip Street. Go Ocherios in the tourist area and the Hip Street. Go Portland. It's not like you have anybody in Jamaica targeting. You know, if they get robbed, you know, they'll get robbed internally. Somebody, the same security guards, them with them paying, organize whatever amongst them. But these diplomats now, I mean, they have to take extra security because of what their governments are doing to other countries. Not because of us. But anyway, I go and play. Let's see if we can find it. I have that video. Play. Let me see which one I did this again. The one that says part 1. Let me see if it's this one. Right, this one. Now listen to these people.
Security guard on the property, one at a time, of course. Hawkeye, the company that was providing them to us. Okay.
All right, so Hawkeye was the company providing the security. You know, Hawkeye. As a matter of fact, look at this. You remember Shields? Mark Shields, who the Jamaica government, he was seconded to Jamaica in the police force, he and some other police officers. And he married in England, you know, had his wife in England. He came to Jamaica, paid by the British government to work with our police force. After a while, he resigned, married a lady out here, started a security company out here, divorced his wife in England, get a son out here. Does that look like a situation where you're coming into a country where your life is threatened? Right? Does it look that way? Him start a security company because with the narrative that they are selling, security becomes big business in Jamaica. So much so that it look like even foreign security companies now coming to operate in Jamaica. Hawkeye is the one that, I think they start locally, you know. I think so. They said that is the company providing the security to him. Listen.
Was providing us with a guy with a shotgun. Imagine this, okay? I'm getting out of my house to go swim with my daughter in my own private pool, and I have to have a guy with a 12-gauge shotgun right next to us because being attacked.
All right. He said that, imagine that you're going to swim and you have to have a guy with a 12-gauge shotgun next to you. You don't have to. Right? You don't have to. As a matter of fact, homes in America is way more armed than homes in Jamaica. You know that? Even black homes. AR-15. Shotgun. And pistols. These are common things in America. You don't have any, I don't even see security companies with AR-15. It's only the police that see with AR-15s out here. But you as a civilian can go over there and you can buy one too. You just have to get it out here. That is where the problem is. Right? But he's doing some unfair things he's saying some unfair things in his comment. Listen to them.
On your own property is a problem, okay? Even on the mountain, even in a gated community. This is where, even in resorts, is a problem. If you travel to Jamaica, you're gonna have to stay with the resort, and you're gonna have to travel where they tell you to, and make sure that you're gonna be with the people of the resort. If you try to go out.
All right, so obviously he buy into the narrative that they sell them, but no, you can't go out there. This is going to happen and that is going to happen.
That's so unfamiliar.
Yet still, these are the same people who go and walk on the beach. They walk on the beach. And they still try to sell them a false narrative that, you know, they put even police on the beach and things. Just to keep people who are trying to hustle a dollar in selling them craft, sometimes drugs. As a matter of fact, many of them, that's what they come here for, ganja, right? You know, when cruise ship used to dock in Kingston, you had a street in Kingston, which they put out the ganja like I put callaloo. They cut callaloo, put it out on the table for sale. That's how they sell ganja on the table. Police don't trouble them. Right? And tourists used to just come off the cruise ship, go there, buy whatever they want. It's just there on the table. You want different kinds and things. Who you think it's there to sell for? Them. Them, the oppressor. All right. So he's now saying that even in the resorts, you have to stay in the confines of the resorts and so on and so forth. And this is what we in the UPK have been talking about, right? Where they give the tourists the impression that if you go outside these walls, you could be dead. But at the same time, if and I pray it don't reach the stage, if it reaches the stage where people start targeting tourists, you think that walls can stop that? The same security who they're not paying no bag of money, the same workers within the hotels who they are not paying any bag of money would be the same ones attacking them. Right? Not people from the streets. Street crime is a different kind of crime. Street crime is most times gang related, right? Sometimes it's sometimes it's robbery. Sometimes it's personal disputes. But it's not like they are targeting a particular set of people. No, the country don't reach that stage. And it won't reach that stage either. Right? And what he doesn't know or is failing to acknowledge is that his people were the ones who set it this way.
Out on your own, okay, it might be the last trip you'll ever take. And this, you're taking this from a guy who actually lived in Africa, in a bunch of countries, and actually been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm telling you.
So they tell them this narrative. If you go there and it might be the last trip you ever take. When was the last time a tourist get attacked in Jamaica?
Sure, I can't remember. I remember when a tourist ever got attacked.
All right. Let me run a Google on that and see. Tourist attack in Jamaica.
So is it a case where them giving the armed security or in get armed security things?
I mean, that diplomats are provided by his government, I suppose.
And I like him did have to go out and get an armed security because he feeling life was threatened.
Exactly.
So come with the package, to get the place, to get the armed security. Exactly.
And what is government don't tell him, the Canadian government, is that because we are making trouble outside, we are making trouble with other countries, maybe you could be targeted. Because if they want to knock Canadian diplomats, and Jamaica is an easy target for them, they will come here and do it. Yeah. Right? Him getting knocked don't mean that it's Jamaicans attacking him for what? For money? Yeah. A tourist, all right, tourist attack in, they send me all the way in Philippines because these things don't happen out here. Tourists killed in Jamaica 2021. Let me see this one. Yeah.
It kind of sounds familiar to propaganda spread in the 70s.
Yeah, man. When they try to destabilize Jamaica. Right in Michael Manley's time.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Anger and sadness over brutal murder.
Is it our government who are giving the impression that, you know what I mean, if them both side of...
No.
It's not the government.
Not our government.
Okay.
these foreign countries issue travel advisory to their people. So they are out here watching crime, our local crime rate, yes, and spinning it to their people. But this crime doesn't affect them, right? Even if they are there in the trust me, they would have to really solve FIRME and fair shot kitchen. They're not attacking them. If that was the case, Jamaica wouldn't be the #1 choice for cruise ships and tourists in general within the Caribbean. They would go to other destinations where the crime rate is low, right? But this now, yeah, it's all like a destabilization tactics them coming up with. And we're going into that too because we know what is
pregnant woman in Roden Hall, Clarendon.
All right, watch out.
Of vaccine. Health Ministry cancels the country's vaccination program for 2 days. Was 8 months pregnant. This is our first thing.
So me now searching for tourists being attacked in Jamaica. Now, it is so rare you can't. There's the Google send it elsewhere. I don't see.
So if that be the case, then sir, that the question as to where this crime is coming from. If you know what I mean, if the same similarities and they were also providing the crime, who tell if them are providing the crime today as well? Are you know what I mean, financially in some way.
See, the crime today is all right, they don't necessarily have a direct hand into it now. Yeah. It's like this. You take someone, take away everything they have, right? Yeah. Put them on one side of a piece of land with nothing. And then on the next piece of land, you have all the things that you know that they would need to survive, right? Yeah. What do you think they're going to do? They are going to go over the other side. Yeah. But you did not equip him with the things to go over on the other side. Huh? No, I mean, you didn't give him the weapons to fight with for him to go and attack the other side. The other side of the land, right? Are those people on the other side of the land? But it was you who take away the things to make him survive. Yeah. So this is what they have done. They take away the things to make us survive. And then they come out here now to live with the pocket full of money, all kind of something. And fearing that you were going to come and take it from them. One thing I know, Jamaicans respect Diplomat. Right? As foolful and daft as we might be, Jamaicans respect Diplomats. He shouldn't have done such a thing. Because what do you think is going to happen now?
You that, guys, it's very, very dangerous on the island. Okay, let's take 2 seconds to hear this from the infographic show.
Kingston, Jamaica. Now Jamaica. This is a country where many tourists flock each year. Many of those, though, don't stray too far from their resort. Or if they do, they're careful where they go or are in a tour group of some kind. Crime again.
All right. When I go to the States, I don't go anywhere. I'm still careful where I go. And people Jamaicans who travel to Canada and elsewhere, they're careful where they go. So these comments are very much unfair in the sense that what they are saying is it's across the board. It's not something that is peculiar to Jamaica. It's across the board. Wherever you go, you are careful where you go. You can't go. We can't go to states and go in one of them all-white communities. Right? And what would happen to you? You probably get lynched. can you leave here and just walk in a what you call them, a project? Yeah, Jamaican and just go in a project like that. One of the projects.
Yeah, a typical black person wouldn't even do that.
Not even typical American not going to do that. Right? So this is an unfair statement.
Right.
What happened prior to the 70s before they start destabilizing Jamaica was that you could have gone anywhere in Jamaica. Tourists could have gone anywhere in Jamaica. When I remember as a child coming up and you see tourists, all you do is smile and wave. It came naturally because them look at you and they, hello, and you just smile and wave back. It came naturally. Whether it was black people as tourists or white people as tourists. A lot of black tourists come out here. All right. There are times when you go on the North Coast on beach trip and so on. And you go and you see them sunbathing on the beach. And when you see them laying down half naked, they're not going there. We don't go in that section. We don't want to see them flabby bodies.
Right.
We don't go that section. Also, and by that fact, we don't even like going in the water with them there. Yeah. Only to find out that they don't like coming to the water where you are either. I don't have a problem with that. I stay here, you stay there.
Yeah. And to add to your point, sir, there's a recent video where, you know what I mean, Puerto Rico Hotel was, you know what I mean, have special days when it's white only. And it is a recent thing I'm telling you.
Oh, I think I see that thing there.
Black people wasn't allowed to come on the beach because
this was you see what they are doing now was what they wanted to do from in the 70s. Prevent you from going certain years in the beach. It was happening in the 60s, but under the re-energized PNP in the 70s, the politicians themselves who was going against. All right, now you see something like the capitalists and the politicians. They're starting to move together somewhat. In the 70s, it wasn't so. It was capitalists here and politicians here. Politicians wanted the support of the people. Yeah, they get financial support from the capitalists, but they were a little more objective in that they would have looked at things and said, no, you can't treat the people in this way. And we turn around to the people and say, we tell them, say, no, you can't treat the people like this way. And we turn around to the people and say, stand up for your rights, man. Don't let them treat you this way. You understand?
Yeah.
Now it's a situation where politicians it's like the hands, they choke their hands.
Yeah.
So you know what, let the capitalists then do what they want to do. Because it's the same thing coming back. The same thing. The stand up for your rights thing that hit Jamaica in the 70s. You know, where schools. All right, this was how much of an angle the oppressor had on Jamaica. Secondary education was here if you have money to pay for it. It was not state sponsored. Education, not to mention tertiary. This is why now this is how you notice that you have a lot of schools. Jamaica College, George's College, Clarendon College, Kingston College.
Yeah.
And they are, what are they? They are high schools. Yeah. But they're in college. Why? You never think about that. You always ask yourself why? Because they were colleges back in the days. And what were they teaching? Same thing you get in high school for free. Up to A level though. So That was how much it was kind of locked, right? Where his own, as a matter of fact, it was such that a lot of the oppressors, even especially the Canadians too, Canadians and the British, they used to send their children out here to be educated up to the secondary level, because Canada, Jamaica, England, model from the education system was modeled the same. What England did was to have an education system common throughout all of its territories, which was smart in some way, in a way, probably in every way, because whether you were educated in Australia, whether you were educated in Canada, whether you were educated in wherever is the British territory, then you could transfer that what you learned to another country in the same empire and continue your education without having to start it from scratch. What the Americans did now was to change the system, their system, where when you come in the American system now, you have to start from scratch. And then Jamaica and the Caribbean, when they start to talk about CARICOM, start to model the education system. It's still model of the British too, but then they'll come up with their own exams, like the CXE. And now you have CXE A-levels. And then it takes years for universities in Canada and America to start recognizing CXE, because they were what I think they were forced to, because these people who had the CXE now, who they try to undermine your education system. We went into their system, and the dunces of child in Jamaica go to America and mash up the education system. So they start to know, say, oh, perhaps we should take a second look at their qualifications. And so you can have CXE in Jamaica and you go straight into a college in the States. Out here, we do statistics in high school. Is whenever university, you do statistics in the States. Certain maths you do in high school out here. You have to go in university over there to do those maths. Right? And this is common through the Caribbean. But this man here now, to me, is a propagandist on a diplomatic level. But at the same time, it was training that he got from UN and probably from his government. All right, listen some more.
Tourists might just be a casual pickpocketing in places such as Montego Bay or Negril, but in parts of Kingston, things can get very real. Forbes.
All right, pickpocketing. That was, this video here, this what do you call it? Infographics video, probably 3 years or so old.
That video?
The one that he plays about from infographics. Okay. Now you have what you have happening in the States now. I think they call smash and grab. Yeah, man, smash and grab. Because here they talk about you could get your pocket pick and all that. Eh? Yeah. But in the States, you have smash and grab, which is a crime. It's not a crime. Right. And train robbery that the government is turning a blind eye on. It's not crime. Oh. A white man who just murder them family. It's not crime. Right. And white people who kill you because you're black. It's not a crime. Right. Okay. And mass shooting. Mass shooting. We don't have mass shooting in Jamaica.
Yeah. Also tell.
You have pickpocket. Why you have pickpocket? When a man reach the level where him start pick your pocket, that shows you the source of the depreciation or the degradation of the socio-economic standing of that person that have to go down to that level to survive. Right? And who is causing these? We soon find out.
Tells us Jamaica is the third most dangerous place for women to visit because of sexual assaults. One person on a forum said when he does business in Kingston, he will not go anywhere without an armed guard. Some others say they visit, but leave parts of the city out, such as Spanish Town. Other travel websites just say give Kingston a miss, as violence is rampant on any given day. Go out for an all-nighter in Spanish Town as a newcomer? Well, you might not get home in one piece.
Now, like it shows in this.
All right. That is common. I don't know of persons who come to Jamaica and go out, go party all night if they want to, and end up dead or something. And it's not an accident.
Never.
So what statistics are they taking these narratives from? Is it just people it's just the normal fear of people? White people just naturally fear that successful black people, you know? It's natural to them. Right? Me go on the North Coast, me a South Coast, man. Me go on the North Coast. North Coast people behave a certain way different. And just from the way how me go and if me go in a place and XYZ, all right, give an example. Me go, and not even North Coast that way, same South Coast, but it's on the other end, more west, south. Go in the KFC, and me order something. And they're trying to give me run around like they want to give me money. Hey, if me not going to get if you're not going to sell more, I want, give me back my money. And they stand up and look for me. And then, they take time and give me what I want. And then one of the ladies said to me, where you come from? I said, Kingston. He said, oh. I said, hold on. I saw no treat people down here, so don't give them where we want to give them. Well, it's the same thing on the North Coast. It have a little slavery sediments. So little sediments of slavery is still there, where they believe that the oppressor, anybody looking like the oppressor is supreme. Yeah. Which is why they often get a culture shock when they go in the States and see white people living on the roadside in a far worse condition than them. It becomes a culture shock. So this is the narrative that tourists come to Jamaica with. I am supreme over them. Right? I remember I was working once a couple years ago. I think it was art. And they put me in a hotel on the North Coast again. And there were some Canadian tourists there. You know, and one of the lady, he come there with him husband and thing, you know, but he might look, he might go like him with a wine or something. How should look and say, but me not pay him no mind, because his husband did it. And I wasn't even in the truth then. All right. I was there for a little over a week. And then one evening, you know, me come in and go down to dinner. And I didn't feel for not much. So I just order something light. And then me I listen to she couple tables away, you know, and she has something like when I want to say, poor thing, you like your money run out or something like that. No, when I buy it, whatever me, they will not buy it out of my pocket, you know, you put me up in the hotel paying for that. So they say, order anything you want. They tell us two things we're not going to pay for. You order on the prostitute, you will not pay for that. Not that they supply prostitute, but they're telling you what they cannot cover, right? And if you order alcohol, we're not buying that. We're not paying for that. So anything else you want to buy, which means that you go there, suppose you want two meals, you can have it. But I didn't feel for anything much because I had a heavy lunch. So I have something very light. And the lady, white man, I tell about it, you know. And I look at him and behave like Yeah, boy, it look like him money run out now or something. You see, next day, I go back there now. She was there. Look like them come down for a month or something. Them is a family. And she now was in the room in the same dining here again. That even though I was hungry. So I ordered some soup first, and then I ordered food. Every year she said, "Oh, you look like yesterday." And I don't know if she attacked for me here or what. And me here it was just too good. Oh, it look like, oh, it mustn't have want not much yesterday. So I said to myself, "Come like a damn idiot. I want to take, what do you take people for?" The thing is, you know, even if you're paying out of your pocket for food, you're in a hotel and you don't have enough money, you go on the road and you see same money that is not enough in the hotel, you go on the road, it give you big dinner. Right. And this is what tourists don't know. Because the hotel sell them a false narrative of Jamaica. That you can go out there if you want to know, but you're on your own. Of course, they're on their own. They don't take them, not them come on Jamaica on their own. And what I blame the government for, though, is that the government allows these people, especially the tourist industry, to spread this propaganda on the country at large just to benefit their pocket. You're scaring these people into spending the money with you. So you tell them, say, you can go outside and spend it, you know, but you're on your own if you go out there. You remember when dancehall was driving in Jamaica, right? Yeah. I used to have the various weekends in Kingston. You have Passa Passa. You have this at Thursday. You have it runs. If you're a party fan, there's a party that you could go to. Not at the same spot, but from Sunday to Sunday. There is something Sunday, there is something Tuesday, there is something Monday, there was something Wednesday, come right back down to Passa Passa, right? And you used to have people who come from all about. And this is probably another mistake too, because a lot of those tourists who used to come out here for these different parties, Japanese. Right. And look what happened now. Japan have more talk in reggae than we. Japan keep reggae, Japan splash. Our artists now have to be begging to be on Japan splash, right? Which means that they are even producing their own artists, right? But these tourists realize that when they come and they come on the streets in Jamaica, people not grappling at their feet like one time gone. So their feeling is that maybe they don't like me now. One, if they're going to think of harming me, right? Out here is not like in the States where if you see a tourist and you stand up and you just look at him too hard. In the States now, they call a cop on you. They don't have the power they down here. They call the police and they call the police very foolish. They themselves might get locked up. Right? I remember the first time I went up and passed over and I came back, you know. I traveled from Montego Bay when I was coming down. All right. I took, what's the name again? Knutsford. Where's it? Right. I took Knutsford from Montego Bay to drop me down here in Clarendon. So it's a long ride, you know. But probably about 4 hours. I mean, if you were driving your own transport, it wouldn't take you that long, but because it's a bus, they have prescribed here. They don't stop at everywhere, but they have prescribed areas where they stop. All right. It's like you would be in America and take the Greyhound or one of them bus there. And the bus stop in, was it south? No, it was more up north because of a tourist bus came there. So me know first man in the island now with UPK gear up and make sure we put on a war scarf and but before we put on, I think it was before we put on the war scarf. Two girls coming out, they're going to the one of the, I think what was it like? Juicy beef. One of our local fast food place. And I order something waiting to be served. So two young white girls come there now. Obviously they come to Jamaica to have a fling with some black men. Yeah. So them look on one look around on me and so the other one I say, no, you can't go to it. You can't go to it. You can't go to it. Well, then I'll watch them and listen and the other one, year one now to the next one. I'm going to call the cops. So another one said, that don't work out here. That don't work out here. Yeah. So after I leave the company, I go on the next part. I put on a war scarf. One thing, trust me, brothers in the States, man, they're doing a glorious job up there. Put on the war scarf now, I step around and walk past the bus and say, watch your one eye white to them in the bus now, see me. Frightened. Come on, because they know what that means. When they see me UPK, when they see me put on my UPK gear of them, they know what time it is. Yeah. And see them two girls, them now, them start looking more close. Can't believe. You go on the North Coast, you from the South here, you get some experience. You would believe it's really Jamaica. And it's like you're traveling back in time in a way. Not in terms of development, but in terms of mindset of people. When I go up there, it's like you travel back in time. You remember when we go up St. Anne's Bay? How people were looking at you at us at the hospital. The hospital. Yeah. As opposed to you being the South Coast here. Yeah, no matter your dress, you pick and the South Coast they look for you and okay. Like the pants there, the pants say, body no youth. And then gone. The North Coast they see you, they look and wonder. Like they wondering if you're coming to take over a place. Well, that would be a good assessment. Coming up here to take over the place.
This video,
listen to this man
is the second most dangerous city in the world. And trust me, when you receive the UNDSS every single morning, this is United Nations, the Department of Security and Safety, the emails in the morning and say, hey, don't go to Spanish Town, don't go on that road. There was a shooting here, there was a shooting there. One staff got sick. The ambulance show up over there and basically people rob the ambulance. I'm not joking. This is Kingston.
So what do you mean by basically? Is that they rob the ambulance or they didn't rob the ambulance? There was a meat they want. I can bet it's a story they give you. I wonder if it's a story from in the 70s when Kingston was almost into a war zone. A lot of crazy crap went on then. But when they dropped down the ambulance, what do you think they wanted? Supplies for them gangs.
Yeah, like the tree.
Exactly. And the money them alone. So even if it happens while he was here and it happened in Kingston, supplies them want for them gang. Exactly. Exactly. Because when them doing sometimes they used to kidnap doctors at KPH, you know. Well, so the doctor them say them get kidnapped. None of them never did. They have never killed any. But what you hear from the grassroots is a different story. Because these doctors make big money out of crime too. But they cannot do it legally. If they treat a gunman for a wound, which say a gunshot wound, which you can't verify is that how him get it, you could be charged jointly with him. So they find another way to do it. Why I was kidnapped. End of story. There, so. But they paid them.
Now, for school, my daughter was going to AISK. This is the American International School at Kingston. $30,000 a year, right? But they have the AC. It was a secure school, security guards everywhere, very safe place. Also, no indoctrination. This is the biggest issue that kids are facing, okay? Maybe not the local, but the foreigners are. You're going to be going to school and literally going to do devotion and all kinds of religious stuff. If you're not religious, like I'm not, that's an issue for your kids. Okay, and if the second your kids are saying they're not going to church or they cannot name the church they're going to, okay, they're going to be ostracized, they're going to be ridiculed. If you don't have dogs to protect your property, you're going to have to hire a security guard. Now, we had a bunch of security guard on the property, one at a time, of course. Hawkeye, the company that was providing them to us, okay, was providing us with a guy with a shotgun. Imagine this, okay? I'm getting out of my house.
Over. So I'm talking about now being ridiculed.
Yeah, that's all like, you know what I mean, straight up propaganda.
I mean, oh please. How much I was used to skip devotion at school? Yeah. I mean, how much I was used to talk about, when I said nothing, when I do this, when I do that. How much children go to school where in the school where they don't know church door look. They go and they have devotion if they have devotion, but it's not to say that they must, because I tell at my daughter's school, I tell them, no, she don't partake in X, she don't partake in Y. And as a matter of fact, you know that you have a religion which is the what's the name again? Jehovah's Witness. They don't partake in the school devotions. And all of them go through the school system. So maybe what he wanted to do was to send his child to one of these upscale Catholic schools. If you send a picnic to a Catholic school, we expect them to teach him. Muslim or atheist, they're going to teach him how to be a Catholic. Right. So you don't want your child to be a Catholic, don't send him to a Catholic school. And most of them choose schools like that because of the fact that they can, well, the interest that is shown in education in these schools.
Okay, that's all like rich people problems.
Yeah, money people problems you have, man. Yeah. Have money and don't know. You want to have money, but you want to live like right? Whether you're black, white, pink, purple, or blue. You can't, the Bible tell you about it. Eh? Yeah. But if you get rich, you have rich people problems, and no, you don't have poor people problems. But it looked like him not born rich still. He wasn't born rich. He probably managed to come up on some riches. All right. He probably come up on some riches while in his adult age or something. Or maybe him just lucky enough to become a diplomat, back the right party, and they appoint him as a diplomat. I mean, a couple of years ago, I got a privilege a couple of years ago to travel to Cuba as a diplomat. Not that I was sponsored to be a diplomat by our government, but Castro, it was a world festival, and Castro, who was alive at the time, extended this privilege to all who attended the festival. It's a wonderful feeling. I'm not telling a lie. You go in a next one country, and even the cops, them big bad cops over there, they see you and them realize you have diplomatic status, then turn their head the next way. I mean, this is what he is experiencing in Jamaica, but I don't know why they sell him this narrative. Like, I mean, the man are going to be in the pool. Why you want a pump rifle guard behind you? You have never been attacked out here. Why they do things like this? What they trying to do? To collect.
Complaining about people keeping you safe. Safer than regular people, or you know what I mean, regular Jamaicans.
That must be the complaint. Why are they keeping us too safe, you know? All right. That is part one. But let's chat out all I think, you know. More read some scripture to you know. Give me Zechariah 11. 4 to 5.
Another one can. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 4. Thus saith the Lord, my God, feed the flock of the slaughter.
Thus saith the Lord, feed the flock of the slaughter. Which flock of the slaughter? Continue.
Another one can, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
So the flock that the Most High is saying to feed is the ones who is being slain by their possessors, and the possessors who slay them say, I'm not guilty, just like this man here is doing. These people came into a peaceful Jamaica. These people came into a peaceful Jamaica, brought with them the curse of Cain, the curse of Lamech, who is just a low-down murderer. They brought that with them, taught it to our people, and the worst thing, it is not to say that it is backfiring on them. It's just that their same people who own these properties and things, the same white people property, them get friends to them. If they get some rich black person property, it's some rich blacks who think they are white, what we call roseburg fruit, right? They only rent from certain class of people within certain areas, which is already zoned by whoever. Of course, it's our government, but these are zones which is recognized by other countries for diplomatic states within your country. They have this in every country. They say, all right, this is an area that I will put my diplomat. This is an area that my diplomat should not travel to. You understand? Yeah. Now, when Jamaican diplomats go abroad, maybe what our government need to do is to start publish these things. The advisories that you would give to the diplomat who travel to America. I'm sure you tell them don't travel to the Bronx. I'm sure you tell them don't go into certain white communities. Sure. I'm sure they tell them these things. Why they don't publish it? I blame our government. All right. I have one more.
So, okay, we want to finish verse 5.
Whose possessors slay them all themselves, not guilty, and what else?
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Okay.
When we were being sold to our oppressor believed that they were rich because they were praising God. Right. They were Christians. Right. Right. So they believed that God had made me rich. Yeah. Not knowing that you were able to sell these people because the Most High want to punish them. Right. And the Most High want to punish them because they keep on listening to you. So you just leave and say, all right, fine, go ahead, stay with them. And you're going to see if they like you or not. Why, trust me. Who today now, whose eyes are open, still believe that the white man loves them? You go on the North Coast, the same North Coast, you have a lot of a lot of blacks eyes up there open now, you know. Yeah. Make it rather worse now, they can't earn nothing from tourists. That is the wrong thing they do.
Yeah.
These people are not being able to earn anything from the tourism industry. You shouldn't do that. They can't do that. This is how greedy the oppressor is. They want to suck you dry. Just like how we talk about them suck the cultures from our culture, the music gone, jerk chicken. Tourists used to come here. They want the chicken from the pan chicken from the man at the roadside. They want to taste the Jamaica. Now you employ the pan chicken man in a year, all inclusive. Give him some foreign season or something, and give him something that tastes like jerk chicken. Right? What the tourists them want is real Jamaican taste. And trust me, you go to New York, yeah, some restaurant of them chef, they must come down often, man. You get some real Jamaican taste up there. You get all the they call it soup again, the pea soup.
Pea soup.
Yeah, man, with the Scotch bonnet pepper. You get that Jamaican flavor, the Benjamin flavor. That's what the tourism want to taste, but they're scaring these people into believing. But can they read the news, the statistics for themselves, and see that they are being sold a false narrative? What they want is, like I said, the oppressor's biggest fear is a successful black man. He might tolerate the woman, but he's still scared of the black woman being successful too. Yeah. But he's even more scared of you, the black man, being successful. That's why they try to take away every little thing that can make money for you. The entertainment industry, gone. The brand the entertainment industry, like the money, these dance money, is it fueling crime? Yeah. So now you cut the dance and crime gone worse. How you justify that? And we, you know what we should do now? Just blame the whole politics. Right. And leave it alone. Right. All right, we have an article here to read. This article is from somebody right on that. Yeah, man. Where the UN putting pressure on. All right, I'll tell you from what date this is. This is from 2015, you know. UN pressure mounts for Jamaica. Turn on that one. For Jamaica to repeal anti-gay laws, improve LGBT environment. This is the whole crux of the matter. This is why all these propaganda and things is being on. Pressure to repeal these anti-gay laws. Because who have the money to come out here and spend? Them is the LGBT, the LGBT plus. Right. Yeah. So I've been there with a little white boy asked, what is the plus for? Is the high octane? You know, like a gas where it's a plus, premium plus, because it's have high octane. So the gays ain't got high octane no one. LGBTQ plus. More international pressure has been applied on Jamaica to repeal laws believed to be infringing on the human rights of vulnerable groups, including gays. All right. So now you come to Jamaica. All right. Here now. All right. More international pressure is being applied to Jamaica to repeal laws believed to be infringing on the human rights of vulnerable groups, including gays, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. All right. Scroll down to in 2011, British Prime Minister David Cameron threatened to withhold aid from governments that do not reform legislation banning homosexuality. So we're saying from 2011 till now, that law has not changed. So it means that we're not getting no aid from our former colonial master. What they want to do, to tell you, say, accept the a-holes, man. Accept these assholes. Why? So this diplomat now, maybe he is one of them lobbyists too. Yeah. Because what Joe Biden has said is that they are going to now instruct their diplomats abroad to put pressure on these governments that are not accepting LGBT communities. So his thing is just a propaganda, right? Yeah. If you want to go swimming in your swimming pool and have a man up with a shotgun and watch over your head, you sound like a druggist. Don't go drugs, but they see moves in a movie. Everywhere they move, you see some armed guard around them, or some gangster, some Godfather style a gangster. Right? I don't know if no diplomat. These companies are just selling them a narrative like, you know, you're paying me to do my job, so I'm doing my job. What would be more seemingly was you have a security there who have a concealed weapon.
I see that, yes, sir. You know, we work on as a security, a residence, I think that diplomat residence, and there was no armed guard on the premises.
Which country?
Jamaica.
Oh man, which country?
German.
German.
There was no armed guard, and one security at that time.
But I don't understand his claim because, I mean, you see them driving on the road all the while. If you want to shoot them, bam, there it is. Boom, you can't shoot them. They're in the traffic coming down. You know they are diplomats. The vehicle, it doesn't mark diplomat, but you know the license plate they carry. They generally have the two of their countries' flag on the front of their vehicle, right? You can trail them and know where they're going, but they're not even watch you. Yeah. They know that the threat is not real. So I don't understand this one's angle. What's his angle? It's just a propagandist. Yeah. All right, let me finish with the article, you know. However, Justice Minister Mark Golding is now leader of the opposition, had earlier told the panel that several steps have been taken to safeguard the rights of all, including implementation of a diversity policy for the police. You know what a diversity policy means now? Among the police, you have LGBT persons. Yeah. Why do you think that for now? They are the ones who is now going to act on persons who might have committed crime against LGBT community. Yeah. But what I can tell you from experience living here, born and grow here in Jamaica, these communities commit the crimes on themselves. Right? When a gay person gets exposed, and what we are seeing now is they don't get exposed, they're out there. Yeah. Right? They never used to be that out there, but First time when I used to find a man and say, yeah, I get this. Who used to throw the first lick? Another gay.
Right.
Who want to cover up his gayness by sure say, oh, me no gay though, I beat him. See me throw lick there, so me no gay. And that is not so, because most times they before they get so open, they used to be exposed by a person who are like them. And it used to be for some reprisal or something. They commit crimes on their own. And the police find this out. That's why the police said, no, we have enough crime as it is. We can't take on a new set of crime. It's best if you don't keep quiet and stay down the closet. Because what they want to do now, they want to come out and be on the streets selling the parts. And while doing that, robbing people.
That.
Yeah.
Them are rob people in a New Kingston and all them things, taking people phone and all them things.
Always are robbing people on phone and then the man then call them phone about, hey, you see your wife number and I know. If you call back your phone, you know, man, tell your wife what you deal with. Them kind of things. So they are the ones who, they are their biggest enemies then. People are really business with them, right? As long as they're not trying, you know, when the population would start to openly go against them, if they start to kidnap people for that purpose, then people are going to go against them. But other than that, they are their own enemies. And the government know that too. What the first politician to speak out was what name again?
Bruce.
No. Well, Bruce said not in my cabinet,
Yeah.
but speak out in terms of saying, because what they used to do, used to go like American embassy and boy, I'm being discriminated. They got there with all their hand in a sling and said they caught me and they broke my hand and blah blah blah, and they get visa to leave. Asylum.
Yeah.
So it was he was the health minister. Tufton was one of the first ones to say these persons need to do them homework. No such thing is being happening out here. Nobody's been attacking anybody because they are gay. People, man, sing about it in the songs. Why do you think they do that? Because, well, now we know the entertainment industry is flooded with them. And they can't, a person come up, want to be a DJ, finally get the chance to be a DJ, only to realize he's surrounded by fish. And he not like fish. Or him just sing against fish. So him do the latter. Him just sing against fish. Just another way to say, because sometimes I them boss are the fish. So you can't tell him to his face, say, don't swim in my direction. But he put it in a song. Don't swim in my direction. So this economic pressure is coming from this because it hasn't changed, and they have sworn. All right, there's another one. This one is Joe Biden. They have sworn to do everything. The political powers in the world have sworn to do everything within their powers to change this narrative. All right, I want this one with, I want the next one now with Joe Biden.
the world than it is here. And that's why Barack and I made it clear in our administration when we speak to other countries about aid and their behavior that it.
All right, listen now. That is why Barack and I made it clear when we speak to other countries about aid and about their behavior. You can make sure it is actually sharing. Okay.
Mattered how they treated the community.
Right. From Obama time, let's start. You want aid, it matters how you treat these communities. And Jamaica, since we have gained independence, quote unquote, why we do it that way? Because it's rubbish. Right? From we have been called an independent country. All right. These countries, every rich country, have what they call spoils, which is money is like the cream. You know, like you make a cake, some spill to the ground, when you pour out your butter, some leave back in the pan, right? All these successful nations, they have a lot of cream. A lot of their politicians go into politics to get these cream. And I'm talking about money. But what they have done is use these money now as aid to other countries. All right. To smaller countries, to countries that they want to follow their ideology. They use these aids, which come in like bribe. So because the West have so much juice, because they have the 12 tribes, you know. So because they have so much juice, they are able to bribe the world in becoming what we call a democratic nation. Which in a way, we know when Christ comes, Christ won't be coming to ask for anybody vote. Christ not coming to say, look what I have done. I can walk on water, vote for me. I can heal the sick, vote for me. Christ not coming to do that. Christ coming to change things and to rule with a rod of iron. But they use these monies that spill over from their economies to bribe other countries. So what he is saying that these aid will be used from the time of Obama, they have been using these aid to bribe. And Jamaica shouldn't feel any way. Which country was it that Trump was withholding their aid? Was it Australia? One of the big countries was to get some monies from America, and he wanted them to do some investigation on Joe Biden and Joe Biden's children. So he was withholding the aid that was approved by his Congress.
Yeah, I think it was Ukraine.
Ukraine? Yeah. Remember which country it was, but it was a bigger country than Jamaica, right? So all these monies now, a lot of these aid don't come to you like free money, you know. Comes with condition. Yeah. And it comes with repayment thing there. I don't know why they call it aid. It comes with, it's just that over a certain time, if you really can't pay back, it might get right off. But it comes with repayment stipulations. Why do you think they put them stipulations, you know? If you don't meet the conditions to make you get it free, then you're going to have to pay it back. Right? And obviously, we have not been meeting these conditions because the buggery law is still here. Other countries who have repealed the buggery law get their monies from them free. Not us.
And I'm convinced, I really mean this. I know I'm always referred to as, when I was there, as the White House optimist, as if I'm the new guy. I've been there longer than all of them. I know the history of the journey of this country. human nature, behavior that is reprehensible, that's been acceptable, can be changed by changing the culture. And so our party, our administration stood on the right side of history. We understood it wasn't enough just for all of you to take these risks. We're required to do our part to stand up, change the law, the policies that for too long have denied people of equality, stripped them of their dignity, put them in harm's way. To think about the progress we've made today. We have so much more to do, but it's sometimes important to look back, to give hope, to remember how far things have moved as rapidly as they have moved, even though they have much more to go.
All right. So people are not able to look at this and say, this is the mark of the beast. They still believe that the mark of the beast is in the vaccine or some other stupid, microchip or something. When this here is the mark of the beast, because they are forcing you to sin. Who is the beast? Esau. What is mark? Sin. And how are you going to receive his mark? By committing the kind of sins that they want you to commit, just so you can benefit, so that you can, as the script, as Revelation says, eat, sell, or buy. And if you don't do it, that is why you notice inflation, especially since Russia gone and the Ukraine border. Why, trust me, oil price, fuel price, just maybe we have to start park the car and take taxi like everybody else.
So yes, sir. Funny when he said he believed that human nature can be changed, through policy, but yet still have 2 million brothers in prison over there. You understand?
Yeah, because they want to change our nature with their prison policy.
Right. So instead of changing, the conditions that allow or force us into crime, or our people into crime, they want to force we to accept feeling.
Thank you. Rather than making the change that won't make you become a criminal, they want you to change to accept their nastiness. And that's what it is. Right?
To change white people from
they want you to accept their filthiness. All right. We have one more question now. Give me Isaiah 21. Hold on, I'm ready for that yet. Now, hold on. I'm going to find Obadiah 1 to 5. Obadiah 1 and 5 first. But hold it, don't read it yet. I got one more video to play before you read that. I have a video to share before you read that. All right, stop this one and share this one. This man got me so upset, man. All right.
Those priorities. Thank you.
All right. There's a point. Where is it? I'm going to play this point first. It is 180. One 180. All right, listen to this.
65,000 at the National Stadium in capital Kingston.
This is Michael Manley speaking. He said, as long as this party is in power, we intend to walk through this world on our feet. Meaning what? Stop depending on what? Aid.
Yeah.
Right. Walk through this world on our feet and not on our knees. Michael is from the Oppressor class too, but it seems as if he wasn't in the what I call it now. He wasn't at the high table. Right? He was an oppressor who used to be at the people's table and not at the high table. So when he went into politics, and then he was a trade unionist. So he decided, nah man, you not treat them people are too bad. Right? You don't have to treat them so. You can give them little more thing. And as long as this party that I'm leading is in power, we're going to walk on our 2 feet through this world and not on our knees. Meaning that you're big, you walk and big. Like I see the African countries, they have to be big in America and Europe, right? That's what he was saying. And what happened since then? Lord of mercy, listen.
At the time, Manley was recognized as the Socialist International's most important representative in the Third World. But this was a test case for both the IMF and the anti-imperialist movement. The proposed IMF Structural Adjustment Program for Jamaica was to be a model for neoliberalism and global debt negotiations throughout the Third World. The story of the rise and demise of Manley's battle with the IMF is rich in lessons for today's anti-globalization movement. Jamaica is a tiny island nation in the Caribbean, the home of Bob Marley, reggae music, and the birthplace of pioneering black nationalist leader Marcus Garvey. Ever since Christopher Columbus landed and mistakenly thought that he was in India over 500 years ago, the Caribbean islands have also been the object of colonialist occupation and exploitation. Michael Manley was a symbol of resistance, not only in Jamaica, but internationally. He first came to office in the 1972 election. Manley's early years in power saw a number of important progressive reforms for the population. The previous ban on Marxist and Black power literature was lifted. Secondary education was made free and accessible, and a partial land reform policy was enacted.
It's the hottest trend in the world right now, and as Time magazine says, people are making millions.
All right, here are them. The band, there was some prior to Manley going into government. They were, all right, it was during the time of the rise of black consciousness, which would happen 69 UPK was formed, right? So in the early 70s, after 69 coming down, we were in the heights of black consciousness, rise of black consciousness. You know what the government did out here when black consciousness started in Jamaica? They banned, all right, listen, this is what they banned.
He first came to office in the 1972 election. Manley's early years in power saw a number of important progressive reforms for the population. The previous ban on Marxist and Black power literature was lifted.
All Black power literature was banned, and all Marxist literature was banned. Why? Because they said they open the people them eye too much. They banned those.
Secondary education was made free and accessible, and a partial land reform policy.
And it make secondary education now free and accessible to all, which was like a far right swing on the high table, right? The Amalekites in Jamaica. Now he was an oppressor, but he was not an Amalekite, right? So that is why it appeared like him and them in a like a tussle, just like Putin. Yeah. Putin an oppressor, but him not an Amalekite. So him don't see things in their way, right? They now decide to go against, because even though it was Michael at the forefront, it was pure black people behind him, Yeah, man. All the people behind him in the party were Benjamites. You had who in there who wasn't. You didn't have 5 people in there who wasn't. The main one behind him was PJ. Turned out to be a roast breadfruit. You understand? So, I mean, not validating the politics at the time, but just validating to say that if the oppressor didn't do their tricks through the IMF, what this man complaining about crime, it wouldn't reach that level, right? People still probably would have some hard time, but it wouldn't be that hard that people have to start scam people. People have to start telling tourists, boy, just to get the tourist dollar, tell the tourists, boy, security thing not so nice down there, so you have to employ one of us. That's not good. So you can build one sector by destroying the other sectors. And the government should have put a stop to this from earlier, before it reached this stage now where you're damaging all the sectors. What manufacturing sector must get hurt by things like those, right? You're hurting now even your own tourism sector, in giving the people the tourists this feeling like, why you can't go anywhere unless you have one of our security companies with you, And that is so terrible. Right? What these tourists need to do, and them when you come to Jamaica, talk to the local, the area that you're in, find the police station in that area and speak to them. You can go into a police station and have an idea what the crime level like is in that area. You go to a police station and you don't see it fence round. And you see the prison, you see the jail out there. So you know that's not an Irish community, right? You go to a police station and you walk in and you see the station guard sit down like you want to fall asleep. That's not an Irish area, right? The windows are not grilled. Not to say that if the windows are grilled, it means high risk. It just means that they are now being more alert in all the areas of the police. But there are some signs that you can look at to know that crime is not high in this community. If crime gets high in our community, all right, if it is so serious for them, why don't you think there would have been a state of emergency in those areas? Right. That they are going to say that man, you jump over the fence or whatever and come. Why have you have a security guard behind you at all times? You will have a state of emergency in those areas. Right? You can't have an Irish area and you have your government ministers driving themselves to their home. They might have security guard at the gate. Purpose is to open and close the gate. Anybody coming in, you speak to the guard first. And it might not be a trained security guard. Could be a man who, well, the sensible thing would be to use a trained security guard to get some professionalism, right? Yeah. But him alone working, what I tell you? It's not a dangerous place, right? Your government minister live here, and 2 streets down the line, right, you have gang violence, and nothing happening to him here. What that tell you? The whole thing is control. So this man's angle must have been propaganda. Can't be anything else.
Was enacted. The foreign-owned electricity, telephone, and bus companies were all nationalized.
Right. So JPS was owned by foreigners before. You never know that. Well, now you know. The bus company was owned by foreigners. So what happened in the 70s was, this is why they despise this era in our development. It was a huge shift towards the people then. You nationalize, you take away the bus company, you take away the telephone company, you take away the bus, the telephone, the television station, the oil refinery, what else? The power company, you nationalize all those. And you make education accessible to all population, to all the population. It was a heavy swing to the right for the people.
Okay.
And the people at the high table did not like that. So what they did now, they used tourism and the IMF to bring about some amount of destabilization, and even then pass through then now come up with LGBT rights.
Right.
How necessary is that? If it wasn't LGBT, it would have been something else, because their goal is that you should not rise. They don't intend for you to rise.
In January of 1974, Manley's government announced a plan to alter the system of tax breaks offered to US and Canadian bauxite companies here in Jamaica.
All right. See, this bauxite move that they made in the 70s, they make a move on the bauxite company, because that is your country's natural resource. This is what you should be selling so that you don't have to walk around the world and beg. Right? Prior to this period of time, what they had was the bauxite companies had a tax break, pay no tax. They come and take your bauxite, no tax. They pay the workers, yes, but there was no tax to them. That was changed. They put a levy, the government put a levy on the tax. And what do you think this bauxite was doing? Making aluminum for the war industry. Listen.
These companies mined aluminum for the war industry. So the PNP annulled previous agreements and imposed a production levy on all bauxite mined or processed in Jamaica. This ruling, though, severely provoked the anger of the US and other ruling classes. A massive and now well-documented destabilization campaign followed. Aluminum and bauxite processing were shifted to other locations. The levy was claimed to be illegal and contested by the bauxite companies, which filed actions with the World Bank's International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes. Local businesses, which had gone partway with Manley and the nationalization of foreign businesses, now buckled and found common cause with their international allies. Layoffs and soaring price increases set off an inflammatory spiral that wiped out previous wage increases. Foreign capital inflow plummeted, and the CIA became involved with fomenting local political rivalries. A terror campaign was unleashed as young Jamaica Labour Party members found ready access to weapons in a guns for ganja trade. At first, Manley attempted to hold a steady course. Fueled by popular support among Jamaica's working class and peasantry, the radical Prime Minister resisted the terms of an IMF reform package. In the December 1976 election, Manley was re-elected in a landslide, winning 47 of the 60 seats in the parliament. But after Manley's refusal to adhere to the terms of the IMF, the economy was strangled by sanctions, while a media campaign sent a wave of fear among potential tourists. Layoffs increased, interest rates skyrocketed, and everything from soap to canned fish was in desperately short supply. This was the limit of social democratic reform. Manley would soon prove an unreliable ally of the poor and the working class, and there would not be sufficient independent organization among the mass of Jamaican working class to steer their own course when he started to retreat. In 1970,
so basically, how they play the game, you know, the high table own, it's just like you're in a gambling house. And you're going there with the money still, you know. But who really control the house? The table. The high table control the gambling house, you know. Them have them little thing there they can tweak the system. Say, all right, we're not 60% of the money that comes in will be paid out, and the house will hold 40%. And all the machines within that house operate that way. Right? They can swing it and say, all right, today is a lovely day, I'm going to give more. I'm only going to hold 20% of all bets. So I mean that everything that you're going and bet, you might have a one man going there and say, oh, I win $1 million. But the next, when you have 4 or 5 men, I lose $1 million. Right? So this is what they played with him. They played that with the government. He was just the head of the thing. It was Benjamites who were behind him, right? And they were the main policy makers behind him. Hey, some thing, that's a politics tasting. The main policy makers behind him was Benjamites, you know. One was for Benjamin behind him, but them themselves, they buckled as well. All of them buckled. But you know, I wonder, maybe it would have made sense to hold on then, because what you have now?
Nothing.
Right. So at least you would have little pride and little dignity. Now pride and dignity gone and the money gone too.
And you still get pressure.
And you still get pressure.
And you still end up in a same position now where they must spread propaganda.
Worse position because they're now spreading the propaganda and you don't have anything on hand.
Right. You can't take it and you can't anything else.
Man.
The decision where they are those problems.
Problem.
Right.
Because they are both sides of the fence is afraid to repeat that bubble. Is afraid to touch the bubble land. You remember when you did fire a professor because he gave some professional he gave some professional accounts in the court of law against the homosexuals, and his account or his testimony did not go in their favor. So because you used to get some aid from America now, they fire him because that house or that place that was giving them that aid, tell them, so why we're not giving no more aid with this man around? So they fire him. Then the people rise up. And it was the same time when this lady I know who used to be in the, remember Jamaica for Justice? Yeah. Remember she started these things and give them a chance. She was one of the first, the main advocate. And then she come back now and turn against them. What she said was, when she was saying give them a chance, she never knew about them. So, you know, she buy into the narrative and say, give them a chance, I could see them a deal with. But now we see what they deal with them, what they are dealing with. Don't give them no chance. So she, same one now, came and led the campaign against them. If we had stayed the course, maybe you wouldn't, you financially, you would not be all the way there, but you'd have some pride. People would have some more. You know what that come out of it? The main thing that they were pushing back in those days was self-sustenance. So you know what would come out of it? At least you'd have a plant your own backyard garden. Yeah. Right? You still would not be so dependent as you are now. Now you buckle, you give in, the pressure is still there. Right. The first thing they said about the government then was that they were going communist. Hence, we had to put on the pressure.
No, we have a capitalist.
Now we have a capitalist government. And the pressure is even worse.
Even worse. Right.
It's even worse because at least the PNP then they also get little aid from whatever little trickle down they can get from Russia. Cuba you also send some of them workers out here. They still get something from IMF. They were still afraid of a total failure of the Jamaican economy. So they keep it afloat. Now you're getting nothing. The little that you get, you have to pay back more than you're getting. And your pride gone, I know them I tell you now. Skin out.
Right, you know what I mean? The pride gone and now them I think the soul, slap you, so to speak. I'm gonna come for your soul.
They're coming for your soul now.
Right.
And this man now come and talk about when put it in worst place because he was a diplomat and believe that he he wouldn't if it was another white country he wouldn't have done this, he wouldn't do it. You see Ukraine or America jump up and talk about what them say them are. They are backing democracy. And at the same time, 6 African countries tumble down. Democracy failed. The military take over. And not one troop sent over there. Not, as a matter of fact, they don't even mention it. Why? Because those troops that take over is backed by some European countries. Long and short, they are only for themselves. Right? So when they were applying the pressure in the 70s and talking about you're going communist and you're doing this and you're doing that, it was all because of the policies which take away a lot of the powers that they had. Because one of the big powers they have was to keep you ignorant, And one of the worst things the government do against the high table was to teach you to make you go to school and can go to university. They didn't like that. But anyway, these same university people come back and work for the high table now and squeeze you more. All right, next scripture.
So like Obadiah 1
and 5.
Another one can. This is the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Right. So if thief broke into your place, then leave you. A thief won't break in your place and leave you empty-handed. Something leave where you can build back on. And these people come and them script, the children's script, the grandchildren's script, and now their great-grandchildren is coming to script.
Yeah.
And we are supposed to just assume the position. That's why we say we give thanks for the I.S.U.P.K in Jamaica. Right? It's just that the people now is so scared of letting go. They know it's a false narrative they have been sold, But because they've seen where pretending to be an idiot have put food on their table, they will continue to pretend to be an idiot just so they can feed themselves. Yeah, they call you Uncle Tom. So you pretend like you don't know what is happening and go and collect. But that is not what Christ requires. Christ requires you to look out, watch out for the flock. Christ don't want you to come pretend like everything is right so that you can feed yourself. That's why he did tell you. Where you go again? Some
his word against the prophets, the leaders of Israel.
no. He that save his life shall lose it. But he that lose his life for my name's sake shall find it. He that findeth his life shall lose it. Meaning, you join them so that you can save yourself. You're going to lose your life. Because when he returns, he's not going to have any pity. As a matter of fact, he might take you out before he returns. All right, give me.
You never want verse 6.
No, what 6 say?
6 said, "All are the things of Esau searched out. All are his hidden things sought up."
The entire Obadiah tell you about Esau. Yeah. But we just pick out this part because it's talking about Esau. Esau just come in your place and take with everything.
Right, and I see Esau.
Script.
Esau pressure with, you know what I mean?
Right, and this one come now and talk about, well, the crime rate is so bad. And he didn't experience a crime rate, any crime coming down here. Right. None of his friends did. Nobody who looked like him fall any victim to crime. All that he has become a victim of is a false narrative pushed by those who send him, who want to force certain changes on us. So what them do now? They sell a narrative they know. Want him, you know, with false narrative, you know, if you push it long enough, it becomes real after a while, you know.
So like the truth.
Not only that, it will happen.
Yeah.
So the crime might just reach a stage to where them can't come out here for real. And people start overrun these hotels, jump the fence or whatever, and go, gangs start going to them.
See, like I said, a lot of scammers are now buying these high-scale, buying house in these high-scale communities. And the violence reach them there. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you sell the narrative long enough, it's going to become real. So they're going to push it to their own detriment. You know, but I'm going to pray that Christ return before that happens. Because I don't want my people to get caught up in them kind of thing. All right. Now, Babylon pushing these on us. But, you know, the scripture tells us about their future. Give me Isaiah 21 to 23. The Bible tells you about the future of these people who are treating us this way.
Verse 2 to 3.
21 to 23.
Isaiah 21 and 31.
Isaiah. Oh, hold on. Isaiah 14, 21 to 23. These people want to look like, you know, these people are coming to get me. I wonder if they ever really take a look at how their people reach where they reach. They ever look and to see how much slaughter they put on our people so that they can be where they are today. But the Bible tells you what is going to happen to Babylon. Isaiah 14 and 21.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
That's why you're reading the right thing. Isaiah chapter 14. It's the wrong scripture. That sounds harsh. That sounds harsh. But it's justified. Why is it justified? That is the way they treat you. That is what they're doing to us. What do you think this man is doing when he come and talk about this and that, and him have to be going to a pool with a security guard with a pump rifle while escorting him in his own yard? He must know what he has done so that he have to have security around him all 24 hours like that. Right? One thing we know, we go on the road and we cuss the oppressor and we don't walk with security. So how comes him have to be walking with security? Lord of mercy. He kills the most. And the Most High is telling us to, not telling we, he's saying to prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So nothing done against us will be unpunished. And this is America release. They do a UFO release. I don't remember how long ago. For 3 years ago, but then not that long. Probably it was under Trump. And when they admit, how long ago, by the way, when they admit that UFO were real?
I think it was in last year, sir.
Last year?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that means it's under Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But they don't call it UFOs again, they call it UAP. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Yeah. All right. And they said these are real and it's hostile. It poses a possible hostile something like that, right?
Yeah.
Why they say that now? Yeah, but they read the scripture and they do understand the scripture. Maybe they do understand the scripture. Because the scripture is saying, prepare slaughter for his children. So that for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities ever again.
Yeah.
22.
Verse 22. For I will rise up against them, say the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, say the Lord.
The Most High going to kill out all the men out of Babylon. Yeah. Why do you think you want to do that?
Same reason why they force our sisters to abandon their children.
Same reason why they take us, attack our men, throw us in jail.
Yeah.
They teach your women to emasculate the men.
Yeah.
Right? Undermine you.
Yeah.
Every nation who come out and do business. Look at when they see you, the black man, they have a little sly grin on their face because they know what is happening.
Yeah.
They know what is happening against you. And they come on to be a partaker of it. Right? Not knowing that you have so many, what they expect? People going to roll over and play them. When you come and you take away every little earnings that these people supposed to have, you take it away. What do you expect to happen? What do you think is going to be the end result? You are going to take it away and you live into this big house and you go to the swimming pool. Even the scare is just the thought of reprisal is reaching them. Reprisal don't reach them. All that is happening is just the thought of reprisal. Right? You might have one case where a tourist going on the wrong lane, go buy weed.
Rip off somebody.
Are part of some scam. Right. Because scamming didn't originate here. Right. Somebody brought, we know the Nigerians bring it here, but the white people now involved in other things. And they deal unfairly in everything. So, and when was the last time you hear about something happening to a tourist? There was a case where one of them went missing. Kershaws. Remember that Kershaw story? A rich woman daughter who come down here on vacation and went missing. And then they come down with a sniffer dog. Sniffer at the hotel that she was staying. And they're gonna make it the dog jump up on the hotel bed. It angered the population. People vex. I said, hello, pop star stay out the door. You come up, pop star jump up. That is the norm for them. But anyway, this Kershaw story, it turned out she never did. Their people her parents were too controlling and she was an adult. So she just find a way to elude them. She tell them she'll come to Jamaica, come vacation, and she just skip and go Cuba. Right? This is not even a crime. It's not even a crime. It's public, what do you call it? I call it public mischief. And it's not a crime on us. That's a crime that they commit. The rich people, children commit that.
She felt so safe that she could abandon her parents in a country that she don't come from. So
yeah, and exactly. She feels safer out here than being around her own parents. Right? And out of shame. Now, what they spin it now and put the blame on the country rather than put the blame on itself. That's why it says, whose possessor slay them and hold themselves not guilty, because they don't take the blame for nothing. They take not the blame for anything. Verse 23.
Verse 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water.
All right, the bittern is a kind of bird that live in marshlands. That is why, so America got on swamp. Yeah. That's why it says possession of bittern, pure marshland bird, and it's gonna full of pool of water. Continue.
And I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts.
All right, the besom of destruction. Besom is like, the broom them we use when people used to gather the broom with and tie the stick to it and tie it up and use the sweep. Right, that's a besom. Besom is basically a broom. The Most High says he's going to sweep Babylon with the broom of destruction. And more, they rightly deserve it. The Most High give you his people as punishment. Yeah, do what you want to do with them, because they're not listening to me. These 12 tribes make you so rich, right? That you don't have the heart to ease the suffering that they are going through. You'd rather take the money that they work for and give it to other peoples in the world. Because there's so much millions of dollars in aid they send to Ukraine. Which Ukrainian ever go and build nothing for America? Right? And yet still they can't find millions of dollars to give to the blacks, the Judites in America. Yeah. Okay, you're supposed to give them some, what do you call it again?
Stimulus check.
No one. They have a name for the program. They call it sector or something like that. But anyway, it is the food stamp. Food stamp fall underneath it too.
Section 8.
Section 8.
Yeah.
You think it hard to give them some Section 8 benefit. Yeah. And they work to build the economy. They work to build the country. When you find millions of dollars now, you want to give to Ukraine. Why don't make Ukraine go back to the Ukraine help create Russia, you know?
Right.
Make him go and go back to Russia, man. The Russia's nuclear was right there in Ukraine. Make him go on. Is him help create Russia? Why should you take the Judites' money and give to them? So you see, the Most High knew the way you were. That's why these things were written. That he's going to sweep it with the besom of destruction. Just destroy you because you have no heart. So because you have no heart, the Most High won't have any heart again, any heart for you also. Treat you the same way that you treat his people. All right. This topic here got me angry and got me talking. You know, but time is upon us. Questions?
Yeah.
All right, let's play a little more of that tape and then we'll chip out. You can sign up.
27. Manley announced Jamaica's People's Plan for economic and political reform. Despite radical rhetoric, by May of that year, Jamaica had accepted an IMF standby agreement of £38 million to ease the balance of payments crisis. The IMF re-established a line of credit with massive strings attached. This line of credit was conditional on an attack on the standard of living of the population. The poorest were hit the hardest, with a dramatic cut in public spending as the leading edge of the program. As Jamaica was put to various IMF tests, repeated failures led to more and more regulation of the island's domestic economic programs. Confusion and despair spread among Jamaica's population, especially young students and the poorest sections of workers and peasants. Political violence and the fortunes of the black market soared. By the election of October 1980, the JLP under the leadership of Edward Seaga was back in office, and with the largest margin of victory in its history, 52 seats to the PNP's 8. Only a year earlier, revolutions in Grenada and Nicaragua indicated that there was a growing mood of opposition to the US-dominated market model in the region. But now, Jamaica had set a pattern of moving halfway in opposing the grip of the imperialist market and then backing down. The JLP-Seaga government was welcomed by the US as a new model of the times. This gave confidence to the likes of Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher and heralded the rise of neoliberalism. At the end of the 8 years of Manley's democratic socialism, the average income in Jamaica was 25% lower and the cost of living 320% higher. Like many social democratic
That's what I know. Income level fall and make cost of living go. That's it. That inflation go up. So that's how they take back the money. You know. No, not the money, and the money where you owe them take back. The policies that the government put in place that take some things from the high table. They just put policies in place now that, yeah, okay, so you can go to school, but where are you going to do the money when you get it? You understand? They get the education, but what? So what? You still can't do nothing. You understand? So they find ways to take it back. Trust me.
Governments before and since, Manley's reformist politics proved incapable of mounting the challenge needed to halt the force of global capital. But at the end of Seaga's term, Jamaica paid out a total of £443 million to its former creditors, including £176 million to the IMF. Jamaica's foreign debt had grown to over £2.2 billion among the highest per capita in the world. It was in this context that Manley returned as Prime Minister to lead another PNP government in 1989.
All right. So the destabilized government, the next government coming within that less than 10 years. IMF pumped the money upon them, that government. Where is that money? Where was it spent?
Seem like that they have even grown. How much you owe to this day to the IMF?
$1 trillion Jamaican dollar.
$1 trillion. That you go nowhere.
Exactly. So that debt serve as the leash to put on your neck so that you don't come back and talk about black power again, and you don't talk about equal rights and justice. Because that was the sing song then, you know. That was the thing, you know, the thing. Equal rights. We want equal rights for the people. Right? Most people don't know what it means, but them know say how they interpret it. You don't come talk down to me.
Everybody wants to suffer the right system of fear.
Right.
So
it was an eye-opening period. And what they did, they used the debt to put the leash. So your eye open, but so you have a leash for your neck, where you go. You understand? So I mean, this man here is not doing a fear analysis on Jamaica. He's just pushing a narrative to put more pressure on Jamaica to free up these LGBT things. Maybe it's not gonna happen. It don't really matter now, but we know that these things is a move against the Most High. We don't want to see we don't want to see that. How should we in the truth want to see a move against the Most High?
Right, and against the Most High people.
Against the Most High.
If we accept that more, then
Lord have mercy.
punish you.
Are we in the end? It's we who's gonna be between a rock and a hard place.
Right. So we just keep it down more, you understand, and listen with chance and come out of captivity. Just force us to implement things that's against the Most High. So
well, the scriptures can't be wrong.
Right.
He that don't have the mark can neither buy nor sell.
Right.
So your economy can't grow. Better if they do what they want to do. Tomorrow, all these come off, and you hear, oh, Jamaica is one of the safest places to travel.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, so how Jamaica gets so safe overnight? Yeah, because all they will be doing now is paying less attention to the crime, pumping more money in the system. So rather than a youth focus on crime in here so you can get work up. So because all it requires, all it requires is just some big projects, you know.
Yeah.
And you employ the local people rather than bringing foreigners.
Yeah.
Employ local people. You know, this is a Chinese project are going on, then allow them to bring a whole lot of Chinese work again. Yeah, because what do you think China do? China scale out your workers, bring in their workers, and build up military base in your place. When your workers are around him, he's not going to do it, you know. Because your workers are seeing what is happening. So this is a direct peace destabilization, and it's been pushed by a diplomat. And Canada, of all places.
Manley had abandoned the left rhetoric of his earlier government. Instead, the market was seen as triumphant model to pursue. However, even on the terms set by the IMF, Jamaica had clearly failed to meet anticipated development goals. Rather than economic prosperity, Jamaica endured further decades of insufferable poverty. Today, even the IMF's own economists are starting to recognize the problem. In a 2006 IMF commissioned working paper, Public Debt and Productivity, Difficult Quest for Growth in Jamaica, Arthur Rudolph Blavey struggles with the apparent puzzle of Jamaica's low growth rates. He concludes that perhaps massive debt might have something to do with it, noting that Jamaica is among the most in-debt countries in the world. Today, we're in a new period of radical reform in the Global South. There are certainly many similarities between the politics of Hugo Chavez and the first government of Michael Manley. But there are also differences. Venezuela has far more resources than Jamaica. The US is a less powerful player relative to its competitors in a world economy than 30 years ago. And if there is a strong independent movement of workers and the poor, the forces of resistance may well have a better chance of staying the course. But the history of Jamaica's battle with the IMF makes it clear that if the grip of imperialism is to be definitively challenged, it must be replaced with another system based on very different priorities. And it will be the working classes and the poor, not the corporate bosses, who will have to set those priorities.
All right, so you know, we tell you we don't have the rights to these videos or these these are just information. It's just the avenue. We don't have any rights to the avenues in which these come from. But it is our life story that you are hearing in Jamaica here, right? And there is no way you can talk about Jamaica being destabilized and Jamaica going through this and Jamaica going through that without mentioning the 70s. It's next to impossible because that is when the destabilization start. Fine, you say communists, right after you destabilize, you pump some money in the country. Where is that money? Obviously, the hands you put it in was supposed to take it and leave the leash of death on our necks. Obviously, that is was your plan.
So like the video they just plays a recent video.
Let me see how old this video is. I think it might not be that recent.
And say something about America influence.
Yeah, man. 2019 it went from
I know we have see America influence being shifted. Real.
Yeah.
You know, Russia can stand up and China can stand up away. You know what I mean? Many countries rather follow them than America and NATO.
And that's the way it should be. I mean, you should have, this is Mikey G13 says Romans 9 and 33. You should have other views, man. But America just want see things my way. When Christ comes, that's what Christ is going to tell us. That we should see things his way. What's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. All right, this man there, now, one of our person in the chat said Romans 9 and 33. Let me see what it says. Romans 9 and 30 says, as it is written, have it? Yeah. Where you read?
Romans 9 and 30.
No one. Romans 9 and 33.
33.
Yeah.
Okay. Romans 9 and 33, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and rock of offense, and whosoever believe on him shall not be ashamed.
Well, that's why we know that we the truth here won't be ashamed.
Right.
And we believe on Christ. So we know we're not going to, in the end, we won't be the one to be ashamed. Yeah, man, Jesus is that rock, man. All right, so what we telling you? We're telling you, listen to the voice of the UPK. They are Christ representative here on earth, you know. So you blacks, Hispanics, and natives, listen to us and stop playing the fool of yourself. You're turning a blind eye to what is happening. They know what is happening, you know. They're turning a blind eye to it because turning a blind eye appears to be putting some food on the table. But what? He who finds his life, he shall lose it. But he who loses life for my name's sake, meaning that you preach the true Christ, it might come with some atrocities. But you bear those atrocities, you shall find your life with Christ. All right, any questions? Yeah. All right, so with that, we pass the class of priest and officer Kayadon.
Drop it up.
can just say the Lord's Prayer. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Security announcements, then the Lord's Prayer, last prayer, or just the prayer.
All right, Micah 13. The Father put Christ there to distract his disobedient children. Romans in court. The Most High put Christ there to distract the disobedient children. Well, I don't know. You believe in Christ? It looks so. Becoming like Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, yeah, that happened. And Christ is really, yeah, the one causing the offense now when you preach Christ. You are the one causing the offense when you go out and you preach Christ to these LGBT and so people. Me, Old Testament study only. You want to study Old Testament, really? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Christ last on distraction. That the news? The real news? Something like that.
Distract is disobedient children.
Read the New Testament and try to use the New Testament to cut.
Cut the old.
Cut, no, not cut the old, but cut the same New Testament.
Oh. Well, you have to understand what it says stumbling block what him talking about.
You don't understand.
Oh. All right, so.
Our security announcements.
Mm-hmm.
All right, these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, there are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21. And Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Next holy convocation is Passover, you know what I mean, which the ad will be played at the end of this video, at the end of the class. You know what I mean, it is being held at Cocoa Beach, Florida. So that can it's on the 16th of April. So that can be Passover on this from last year. Okay. Reminding I.S.U.P.K. Listen.
I'm supposed to change it.
Okay. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said,
this one Mikey G30, he says Shalom Yahshua. So hold on. You have people that like group where they don't believe in the New Testament. I think so. No? Yeah, man, you have someone said about Old Testament Israelite.
Only for hybrid and
over hybrid.
Yeah.
Lot of plus.
Break off and mutation.
Mutation. Oh, they have mutated. Mike, you sound like one of the mutated Israelite everywhere.
Yeah.
I think they're Israelites.
All right, we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in English and Slakia, Hebrew, and then in English. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Aya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Atazaka, Aya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashamaya, Nathan Lanawa, Nakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawabwat Yanawa, Wala'a, Kabaya Anawa, Manasaya, Abad, our shine now, Maya, right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Iwalamia,
In English, our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed
be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And
forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever so be.
All right, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Mayor of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai Brakatah. Yaramata. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, Mayor of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh
Basham, Yahweh Shai.
Yaramata. Class dismissed.
All right, to our online persons, please remember to fill in the form, the online form. Like, subscribe, share our videos, pay your tithes. I think it's Zelle thing, you know. I think Zelle is a problem. Pay your tithes at ISUPK.com. Go to tithes, pay your tithes. Share screen. All right, so with that we say shalom.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You are here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. The IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the metaphor. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Control your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
Like this is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here about to be holy ground. It's gonna be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious. I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God. Come on, to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the menopause. We at war. I shot it with the Lord cause. On one and
Transfer all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
Like this is like an apartment in a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here about to be holy ground. It's gonna be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.